Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another battery tester review, but it's not a battery tester for a deep cycle battery for off-grid situations. It is more along the lines for your car. So let's check it out. Okay, what I have is the battery tester BT300P from TopDon. And I believe what this does is it tests the pretty much the life of your car battery. And you're probably thinking, okay, this is an off-grid channel. Why do I care about my car battery? Well, this is more geared towards those people that live in RVs, or actually live in their van, or in their CRV, something like that. They need to make sure that if they're using a DC to DC charger, that their battery that runs their car is in top condition. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, see what's inside, and we're going to test it on a couple of my cars that I have. And we'll see what kind of results we get. All right, let's open this thing up and see what's inside. All right. Okay, when you open the box, you get a bag. This is kind of nice little carrying bag. Okay, so what we have, looks like over here we have 2 rolls of paper, and then we have the actual tester. And a user manual. Okay, first impressions. It looks pretty stylish, I guess you could say. It's really light, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I like how it's got rubber. It's got rubber, almost corners, and they're not quite corners, but they got rubber ends. So if you do drop it, there's less of a chance of it breaking. I like the buttons. They're nice and solid, nice solid buttons. It is made out of plastic. And then when it comes to the clamps, oh yeah, these clamps, they're nice and stiff. They look like they'll be able to grip onto anything without slipping. Let's see how long the cord is. And then the cord itself looks like it's probably about 3 feet. So we'll see if that kind of hinders the performance of it at all. I mean, this thing is made to just connect to the battery and then just be sitting off to the side. So, okay, full disclosure time. I am not a mechanic. I'm also not an electrical engineer. This is the first time I've ever used anything like this. So when I get the readings, I am going to be in the dark, probably what they mean. So we're going to kind of see how beginner friendly this unit is, or if this unit is really made for someone in the industry. Okay, first I want to give some specifications about this unit. The working voltage of this unit is between 9 volts and 30 volts. So it can do 12 volt and 24 volt ignition systems, I guess. The working temperature is -10 degrees Celsius or 14 degrees Fahrenheit, and all the way up to 55 degrees Celsius or 131 degrees Fahrenheit. And the storage temperature is -20 degrees Celsius or -4 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to 75 degrees Celsius or 167 degrees Fahrenheit. Man, if your storage temperature is that, you might want to move it anyway. That's really hot. The dimensions, it's 8.19 inches long. It is 3.94 inches wide, and the depth of it is 1.49 inches. And it weighs right around a pound, so 16.76 ounces. All right, and the cars that I'm going to be testing today and the batteries of those cars. First, I'm going to be testing a 2018 Honda CRV. I will also let you know the year of the battery, and we'll see the battery on that and the other car as well. The other car is going to be a 2004 Volkswagen Jetta. On the Honda CRV, I replaced the battery, I think about 1.5 years ago. So it's relatively new. The Volkswagen Jetta, I want to say the battery's probably about 4 years old, but we'll have to confirm that when I open the hood. And I believe that battery is on its last leg. Man, this car, sometimes I have to charge it every week, and at the end of the week, that starter is really struggling to even move. So it'll be interesting to see the differences between these two batteries. All right, I just looked over the manual that came with the battery tester, and it actually does a step-by-step on how to do all 3 of the tests that this thing is capable of doing. So I'm going to be following that pretty much by the letter, because I've never used one of these before, so I'm going to be following the manual. One thing I noticed about the manual is it doesn't say anything about how to change the paper. And I would think that you would just be able to pop this thing off, but I mean, it's not popping off very easily, so. Okay, so the first car that we're gonna test is the 2018 Honda CRV. I'm gonna go get my coat and put it on because I have to open the garage door. You definitely don't wanna leave your garage door closed while doing this test because these cars will be running and you don't want carbon monoxide poisoning. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that and then we'll start the test. Okay, the first test that we're gonna do on the 2018 CRV is the battery test. And it says before the test, all accessories on the car should be turned off in order for this to be accurate. And it also says that if the battery has just been fully charged, to turn the lights on for 2 to 3 minutes, so that way it can kind of normalize the battery. And then it says connect the red clamp to the red and connect the black to the black, which is hopefully pretty straightforward for everyone. All right, and then the tester kicks on. All right, and the first one we're going to do is battery test. So I believe all we got to do is hit enter. And then we check our battery. And it's an AGM battery, so we're going to go down to AGM. Select standard. It looks like the standard is CCA. It says it right on the battery. It says CCA at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And it also says AGM. So that's where I'm getting this information, is right from the top of the battery. So we're going to hit enter here. Set rating. And I believe the rating on this is 450 CA or CCA. So I'm just hitting the down arrow to select 450 CCA and then enter. And now it's testing. All right, and we got our results. It says good battery, health is 100%, charge is 100%, 12.63, 507 CCA. Internal resistance is 4.89 milliohms, and then looks like that's it. So if I hit enter again, maybe it'll print. Oh, look at that. So look at that, that's nice. It pretty much prints off exactly what was on the screen. This could be used for commercial use because you could give this to your customer, letting them know, hey, here are the results of your battery. This is why we need to replace it. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Exit out. And then now we're going to try the cranking test. Okay, for the crank test, it does again say that the engine and all accessories must be off before the test is conducted, so that way it gives accurate results. It does say again to put the red on the positive and the black on the negative. We're already past that stage. And then we're going to go down to cranking test. Okay, now that we're down to cranking test, we hit enter. And it says, please start engine. So I'm going to do that and see what kind of results we get. Okay, here's the results of our cranking test. And it says that the cranking was low. So the voltage was 8.51 volts. Cranking time was 457 milliseconds. And it actually brought up something saying, oh, did the car actually crank over? If it did, hit enter. So I had to press that. And then what I noticed was as soon as I tried to hit enter to print this out, the paper got stuck. So that's kind of a bummer. After the first use, the first tear, the paper got stuck. But it made it so at least I found out how to change the paper. You just lift this up, and then the whole thing just pops open. Super easy. you want to pull a little bit of the paper out and push it back down. So the cranking test, I don't know if cranking low is a bad thing. It sounds like it is, but we'll go ahead and we're going to do the charging test next. Okay, and for the charging test, it does say that the engine needs to be on for this test. And it does say to clamp it, clamp it the red to the red, black to the black, just like usual. And we're going to go to charging test. And I'm going to go ahead and start the car, and then we're going to start the test. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and do the cranking, we're going to go ahead and do the charging test now. So we're going to hit enter. Please start engine and enter to continue. So we did that. There's the ripple test. And now it says increase speed to 2,500 RPMs, keep it for 5 seconds, and then press enter to continue. So I'm going to go do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I rev the engine for 5 seconds. Let's hit enter. All right, and it says charging normal, loaded 14.49, unloaded 14.52. Ripple was 9 millivolts. So let's go ahead and hit enter. And it prints that out. Okay, I feel pretty confident that the battery in my 2018 CRV is good to go for the whole winter. So let's go ahead and test my Volkswagen Jetta. Okay, so this battery is also a AGM. It is a CCA at 0 degrees, 600. So those are the numbers that we're going to be entering into the unit. Also, I don't know if I told anybody. It's about 45 degrees outside. So that's the temperature that we're working with right now. Let's see. And this battery also does say that it has a 3-year warranty, but I really want to say I bought it more than 3 years ago. Yeah, and I don't see a date on here at all. That's a bummer. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the test. All right, so first test we're going to do is we're going to do the battery test. So enter. It's an AGM. It's a CCA. And we're going to bump this up to 600. And I believe, does CCA stand for a cold cranking amps? I believe it does. Please tell me in the description if I'm wrong. All right, enter. Testing. Oh my God, yeah, I'm not surprised. Replace, it says replace right there. Health 15%, 230 CCA. So the cold cranking amps on this are pretty bad. Charge is 80%, 12.48 volts. Internal resistance, 10.79 milliohms. And it shows the rating is 600 CCA. So yeah, this battery is, I need to replace it. And this confirms it right here, which I felt like I needed to replace it. But yeah, this confirms it right here. So let's print this. Okay, we're going to exit out and we're going to go to the cranking test. Hit enter. Please start engine. And it actually has a countdown from 30 seconds, so it gives you a timer. All right, and it said the cranking is low. The cranking time was 2,686 milliseconds, 7.11 volts. So let's go ahead and hit enter. We'll print that out. And while the car is running, I'm going to go ahead and do the charging test. So enter. Please start engine. Here's my ripple test. Okay, now it says to increase the RPMs 2,500. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. and then hit enter. It's testing again. And charging is normal, so that's good. That means that I believe that means my alternator doesn't have any issues. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and it prints out. And it looks like the print is good, so that's good. And then it looks like you can review the data. Let's go ahead and hit enter. Yeah, and it reviews the data on all the tests that we did. But it only reviews it on the current battery that you have it on. It doesn't save the reviews, because after you take these clamps off, it loses all memory. Hit exit, and then language. It looks like you can select from looks like 8 different languages. Okay, so I'm going to put this all back together, and then we're going to go inside and talk about this unit. All right, so what did I think of the TopDon BT300P battery tester? You know, for really not having any idea what this thing did, just using it a couple times, I really like it. I like how it really gives me confidence on how my battery performance is doing in my car. And it also gives me confidence that my alternator is charging the battery the way that it should. I also like the fact that this unit prints out everything that I have. So that way, if, let's just say I wanted to use this every 6 months, I could test my battery every 6 months, and I can actually keep a log. I also like the fact that the screen is nice and bright. You can easily see it. It's nice. It's also in color, so that really helps out. The buttons on it, I mean, this thing feels like it could be in a shop and not get broken after a couple days. The plastic is pretty solid. It's pretty lightweight, so if it does fall, it's not going to just shatter. And it's got these little rubber things right here. So if it does fall, most likely it's going to hit a corner, which is these rubber pieces. The information that it gives me is pretty straightforward. It doesn't give me a bunch of confusing jargon. It basically says right on there, replace or good. So just for a beginner like me, so it pretty much told me outright how my battery is doing. Some cons about this unit. On the CRV, it was pretty easy to put these clamps on. They are nice and solid, so they grip once they're on there. But I feel like they could open up a little bit further. So, I mean, you would have to actually have a bigger clamp. On the Jetta, I was actually having an issue trying to get this clamp onto the battery. And then also, in the documentation, it didn't say anything about how to change the paper. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I want to pull on this little blue thing, because I don't want to break the unit before I even use it. But yeah, all you gotta do is just pull on this little blue tab right here, and the whole thing pops open, and then it just closes back up. Another thing that I could see getting a little bit of improvement is, I did just two car batteries. And so I have 6 pieces of paper here. And after looking at them, I was like, oh gosh, which battery is which car is which? There's no time stamp, there's no date stamp. There's no indication of that they're separate batteries. So it would be nice if when it printed, maybe it just had it kept a counter or something like that. If it just said 1, 2, 3, so that way you could differentiate your test batteries. All right, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have any questions about how I use the TopDon tester, or any other questions that you may have, please leave them in the comment section. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing. It really does help out. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.